Hello, hello, everyone. Come on in, take a seat at my table, grab a beverage. We are tonight going to go over the flashlight video. I mentioned in one of my earlier videos, I don't know if it was the last one or the one before that, but that we should take a look at the flashlight video again and the new overlays that have been done with it because in my opinion, it shows quite a bit. Um, so I wanted to do that. I thought, well, I'm going to take a little time and do that one because I feel that the flashlight video and that thump that Katie heard at night, those two things are really important to this case. That's my personal opinion. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Because what we're going to do is we're going to look at the mob crew. He does a really good job, you guys. If you have not seen this before, or even if you have, we're going to discuss it together, okay? But if you haven't subscribed to him, I want to encourage you to go over there and do that. He does a really good job. And so we're going to watch it today and discuss it a little bit. All right, let's get started.
No, I don't want to start out with this because I know we've gone over this a lot.
See that the two lights at the top, which have been assumed to be floodlights.
But yeah, I'm gonna share. I'm gonna let this play for a minute, and then I'll share something that's a little bit interesting. And again, I'll have to kind of maybe expand on it in like a members live, just because a little bit more is sensitive. But yeah, I will share kind of the basics for you guys here today about how I really think this is, uh, you know, the key to finding
using
him.
this.
I don't know if this is the key to finding him, but this is clearly, I don't want to say clearly, but this is more than likely shows the potential abduction, whether it's outside or, an inside job.
Line, we can determine that those lights cannot be any higher than the hood of that truck. Using this method, we can determine exactly where those lights are coming from. So looking at where that truck was parked that night, seen in this overview, photo here taken the day of, we can then use a Google Street image and line up approximately where that truck was parked. Notice we add the red line and look at where it takes us. There is a house exactly across the street. This house is next to the Rogers residence.
So I'm not sure what kind of group, or if you're referring to what I was talking about with the death threats. I'm assuming that's what you're talking about. Again, remember when they mentioned Cornbed Mafia in there? And I've heard that there's other kind of entities like that in Tennessee. And then supposedly they have connections to certain people. Some could, assume who they may be. Now, again, it's a little bit more out there, but again, it's certainly possible. The fact that, Craddock is denying it, and maybe they just didn't get the reports, there could be, there's always two sides to the story. But there has been things that were shared with me early on and I heard that just blew my mind. Like, again, we don't know if it's, truth or not, but there's a little bit of weight to it, and yeah, it's just kind of scary to think if that is the case, that
This
some
home
kind
has
of group that's not the Proudfoots, but another organization coming in, or maybe hiring certain people to, or however they do it, to threaten these people.
its garage facing towards the camera. It also has 3 garage doors on it. Guess what? That's right,
Good to
it
see you,
has
Ruru.
floodlights above each garage door. So here, I am taking a street Google view of the direction of the camera and then adding the security footage overlaid into the Google image. And notice how the floodlights do line up with the image. But because the footage itself was filmed with a phone, it is a bit shaky and doesn't always line up. But this does give you an example of where everything is taking place. The lights labeled as subject 1 and 2 are moving across the 2 yards. So the big question is, are they flashlights or something else? And where are they coming from exactly?
Oh,
and where are they going?
Yeah, so I see you. Okay, sorry to pause this real quick, and I know a lot of you guys have seen this, and we're gonna kind of rush through this first part. Didn't I just have that all pulled up? I did pull the pictures from your emails. Let me make sure I got them all. All right, see, I got those two. Maybe you can explain what we're looking at, Leslie, because I see the photos you sent in, but I'm not sure if I'm. Why does this guy look familiar? He looks familiar, but I don't know. I want to be careful. This guy isn't like because I always try to be careful with showing actual people. Um, but yeah, if you'd like to let me know what we may be looking at here. I see, is this supposed to be a tail light? Because this guy's got his trunk open, and I'm assuming this is the tail light. Is this what you're talking about, Leslie? And it is kind of a vertical light there. Let me know. I do have the photos. Again, I want to be careful just in case. It was on the other night, just going off. Oh, just going off about Sebastian. Oh, I gotcha.
Too.
Interesting. I'll bring those up again. We'll be looking at the tail lights and stuff here in just a minute, but again, I'm sure 99% of you guys know, but we'll just kind of run through this quick.
This is the order and things allegedly happened on the early.
After this is explained, I'll kind of start talking about why even now, what recently I was told by a certain group. This makes me just even more confident that this video is, part of the key to finding Sebastian.
Early morning of the 26th, at around 3 a.m., a suspicious vehicle was spotted by camera and potential witnesses.
Okay, I gotcha.
Which they believe looked like a sedan. It traveled up Kellen and turned around. It would then park near the 2 homes towards Stafford Street off Kellen. This next part depends on whether this was an inside job or not. If an outside job had taken place, then at least 2 persons would have exited the car. If it was an inside job, then perhaps 1 person got out while the driver stayed in the car.
So again, just thinking like, for innocent explanation, if these were just 2 lights and somebody was like searching for their dog or they were going for a walk, of course, one, we know where, the approximate vicinity of these lights are going. They're going between kind of the Proudfoots and the neighbor's home next to the adjacent homes. So clearly, the night that Rogers goes missing, we got these lights going on. Then we have this car, which, again, we don't know 100% what kind of make model. There have been, some suggestions. It's a sedan, a dark sedan. But again, even if these 2 things were, there's just no way that these 2 entities are separate, because what are the chances you have this car, you have lights going on, and then moments later you have a car showing up, doing something that's really odd, where they're sitting down a street essentially with their lights off. We don't know how long, but the clip we get is just seconds before the car turns on its lights, which means before that it was sitting on that road um, with its lights off. I mean, I don't know, if it was just an innocent explanation, you would think, okay, maybe a driver got lost and now they're kind of pulling over to the side, but why would they turn off the lights and kick it back on? I mean, it seems really really strange to me. And I've got some better footage that I'll show you guys where um, I think the last time I went live with this is when I actually found not the originals, but slightly just little bit better quality than what I had previously, because I just took this from I think Bed Crime Stories. I think she had posted it, and obviously when you take a video and then you run it through and you're making a video, and then you re-upload it, you're going to lose some quality through times. So I went back and found those original videos. Again, they're not, they're still like second generation, but it does certainly add a little bit better detail, but not a lot. But there are some things that we're going to look at. But I'm going to talk about something here in just a second. Yeah, I mean, there's. So let me take a sip here and we'll talk about what transpired recently with some people I spoke to. So again, I think a lot. I mean, I don't think it's no secret, obviously, what I did with the overlay, which, again, it's just an overlay, but, I like to stick with evidence and facts. And this is really the only thing we really have other than just dissecting interviews over and over. And then the other half of the channels, I mean, all I ever really see is them playing somebody else's video and they're, crapping on them. And that's about, and that, I have no interest in that because that's not going to get us any closer, Sebastian. So, anyway, so when I did my overlay, obviously it got a lot of attention in the community. And, obviously, some locals reached out to me, gave me some, amazing insight on, what they think kind of transpired and what they've heard through the neighborhood. And then, I've even been kind of in contact with both sides, both camps. You kind of seems like it's divided, unfortunately. You kind of got Seth's group, and then you have, Proudfoot's group, whatever. But recently, I had contact from one of those groups. I'm not gonna say which one, um, but they did say, basically, kind of confirm my suspicion that, yeah, this is something that they're interested
At some
in.
point, as subject 1 and 2 now move between the homes, it's believed that the system.
And there may even be more footage out there that people may not even know about, because there are allegedly other ring cameras, not the ones that allegedly were not working further up the street, but they believe it's possible this vehicle could have been captured on more than one camera. But unfortunately, the thing that sucks about this neighborhood is there's no street lights. It's super dark. And so, even a vehicle, just any kind of dark vehicle that drives through there,
So in watching that, guys, um, I really feel like this is legit. I know that Ellie told Seth that it was a flashlight video or a trash truck video, but it really wasn't. There's no way it could have been, especially that early in the morning. The trash trucks don't run that early. It's like 3 o'clock in the morning. So, um, and I do believe law enforcement is looking into it. I believe that with all my heart. Here's the thing, though. That this may very well be where there are, you know, 2 flashlights, almost looks like a third one in this video. But they have to know who. They need a license plate for this car, or they need a witness who saw this. Just having this video is not enough evidence in and of itself, because they need to know who the players are in order to do any charges. In order to bring any charges for anything, they have to know who the players are, who these flashlight people are, who the driver of the car is, what kind of car, what was the license plate number of the car. They need to know all of that. So, as good as I may think this may be, law enforcement has to figure out who these people are. Right, let's continue.
It's still hard to make out certain things, and then let's say obviously a great identifier would be like a license plate. Well, let's say if you had more than one camera that maybe captured this vehicle, but unfortunately didn't capture the license plate or something that's identifiable, that could really give them substance to obviously pursue further leads. From what I understand, that could be possibly the case, which is terrible. But there still could be other ways that maybe they could think outside the box.
Suspicious car would turn onto Stafford and sit in the street for a few minutes. It's unclear as to why this car did this, but according to my sources, there were lights seen walking around the car for a bit.
I have. Yeah, I had to take a break. Yeah, I had to go out of town last week. I apologize. And then I had some doctor's appointments when I came back. I kind of have a stomach issue. When you get less younger, your body doesn't, want to, eating foods that you used to back in the day, or, your body doesn't, allow you to eat those anymore. So, yeah, I just have to, unfortunately, kind of be, do checkups once or twice a month. And yeah, so anyway, but yeah, I'm doing fine. But I do appreciate everybody's concerns, and I apologize for kind of being out for a little bit. So anyway, like I said, one of the camps reached out to me, and it was, again, I'll kind of go deeper in on a members and Patreon video, only just so I can kind of be careful, because again, it's kind of sensitive, and not super sensitive, but information that trying to be respectful for the people that tell me stuff. But basically, what they told me just kind of confirmed everything that I kind of assumed, that this video is the key, or is part of the key to finding Sebastian, or what may have happened to him. And yeah. Carol coming in. Chris, I hope you are feeling better. Thanks again for all your work. Thank you so much, Carol. Much love to you. Yeah. Yeah, doing much better. If you guys can, if you haven't already, please hit that like button. That'd help me out so much. If you, by chance, want to support the channel, if you donate like PayPal or Venmo, if you could let one of my mods know, just so I can come in and check my phone because I I live in a apartment and it's on the second story. It's just a two-story apartment, but I have a metal roof, and so my service is really spotty. And so, sometimes my messages I get are instant, and then sometimes, there could be up to like a 30-minute delay or more. It just kind of depends because all the ACs are up on the roof above me, and so kind of got this spotty service here. Um, Gail says Milton just made landfall, 120-mile-an-hour winds. Woof. Um, dang. Uh, Joseph says, I think law enforcement has watched your work. If not, they should. I think some people have sent in my stuff. From what I understand, they probably know. Obviously, they know more than I do. And but the other thing, oh, that I forgot to mention is so again, because like I said, I really, yeah, I do find this a lot of the interviews that Proudfoot Katie did, they are they're um there's a lot of red flags there. I mean, I just don't know how else to say it. Now, does that mean that automatically means they're guilty or murderers? No, but still, there are red flags. I mean, um, oh, so there is potential because, again, I think both camps know that I am just trying to get to the truth. And so obviously, I think the camps that may have nothing to hide, there's a possibility they may, and again, this is a big if. I don't know if this will happen, but I've been told it's possible that I may be able to get some more footage. But again, I don't know, and don't say that, oh, hey, Chris is going to be getting footage. Again, there's someone mentioned they may try to reach out to a certain person that has some of the footage. If I get it, I think it's a big if, but I mean that would be amazing. Good to see you, Louise. Vehicles would have cameras around the home affect insurance payment cost? Um, that's a good question, actually. I don't know. Oh, did it, CB? Ooh, dang. I do want to let people know that this will probably be my last. Oh, this is oh, right here. Okay, this is one of the things I wanted to show you guys. Because again, I did get slightly better quality a week and a half ago, and I've been studying it. Um, I forgot what I was replying to. Oh, the trial. Oh, yeah, I was gonna say this will probably be my last live on Sebastian Rogers just for a little while because next week is the Delphi trial, and so that's a case that I've covered a lot on this channel and been anticipating. So um, we may, unless there's breaking news, then of course I will go live or do a video. But here is me. So this is part of the subject to flashlight. This comes from slightly better footage. And so just notice how it behaves. I know we kind of figured it's a flashlight, but as you can see, it's much better looking. A little bit clearer. Obviously, I don't think you're going to make out a form, a shape, because it's just too dark. Unless they were illuminating their body, I just don't think you would be able to see an actual figure. But here's me with the flashlight. I think a cell phone flashlight. And you know how the orb kind of bounces. You know how flashlights, anybody seen a flashlight in far distance, how they behave. Um, and so, yeah, that's kind of neat to see that with slightly better quality. Again, it's not amazing, again, but this is subject to when they're kind of moving across, which is kind of interesting. Boogie says, "Thank you for the closed captions." Yeah, I had a certain person that followed my channel for a long time that was hearing impaired, and they'd always remind me because before with YouTube, especially if you're using other programs, every time you turned on a live or did a live show, you had to go into a special setting and turn it on every time. And sometimes it was a pain in the butt because sometimes, you're kind of doing it last minute. You're coming on because, I always spend hours before my shows because I always like to have visuals. And then, I just like to have it organized live from A to Z. And yeah, so it's nice. They finally changed it. This was a long time ago, but they finally changed it to where whenever you switch the setting, it finally just stayed on. So I'm glad to help out with that. Could the lights be headgear? I've always thought, in my um, recreation, I did like the headlamp, um, which is certainly possible. They could have used normal flashlights. I tend to think maybe a phone and the phone flashlight. Um, but I definitely think it's, obviously some kind of light source, clearly walking between the 2 yards there.
Okay, did you see that figure? Kind of was illuminated with the light. So I don't know. I find this very, very interesting. Um, I know that he has shown this more than once. I guess I should have went to one of his earlier ones. I just figured that this was probably his most latest one. I didn't realize how much he was talking, which that's fine. That's great. But I'm trying to really focus on the flashlight video. But he does an excellent job. So let's continue on.
Gail says, "Do you think he could be sleepwalking with some of those meds that could cause that?" Now, as a person who former sleepwalked, and I've done some crazy stuff as a teenage, well, a young kid. Um, I think I kind of got out of it around his age, but I did. I slept walk a lot when I was I'm not sure how early, but from like 8 to like early teens. Um, but
Okay. So, um, I don't sleepwalking. I don't honestly think Sebastian was sleepwalking. Um, when you look at that video and how subject one comes out, meets subject two, go to the car, um, it's very obvious that Sebastian was carried out of the house. And why do I say that? I say that because there's no evidence that he walked out of that home. None. He was barefoot. He never went barefoot ever since he was very little. So, why? I mean, really, why? He didn't have his phone. Things that he would have taken. We heard it on Nancy Grace, right? Things that he would have taken. Phone. He took his flashlight. No shoes. Phone and no shoes. Those were part of his routine, guys. So he was carried out. That's I stand on that. If it comes out down the line when we find out, what happened with Sebastian and how he disappeared, that I was wrong, I will gladly get on screen and say I was wrong. But there is no evidence that he walked out of that home. So I feel that he was carried. And I feel he was carried just this way. Let me know what you guys think. I am going to continue to push Sebastian's name and face out there. It's important. One of our crime busters on the channel told me that Seth had told somebody that The Eye of the Tiger was not Sebastian's favorite song. So that's news to me. And if anybody else knows and knows where to find that information, please let me know, because I'll gladly fix that. But guys, keep lighting it up green for Sebastian. Get his name, his face out there. Put it on your social media every day. I want to see, join in prayer with me that he is brought home. He is home by Christmas. Okay? All right. Well, thank you guys. I will see you on the next one. Thank you for watching another episode of Granny's Crime Busters. We really appreciate each and every one of you. Don't forget to subscribe and like and even share the content. You can follow us on any of our other social media platforms at YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. We really appreciate you guys, and you can also email us at granniescrimebusters@gmail.com. Thank you so much, and we will see you on the next one. Thanks, guys.